Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varadhe Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir me sada yenakshara samamnayam adhigam yenakshara samamnayam adhigamya maheshwarat kritsnam vyakarnam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha vakyakaram vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitayam Vagartha Viva Samprikto Vagartha Pratipattaye Jagatah Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Namaste. So we were left off on Sarva Shabda. So it's up there. Let me switch screens. So that is what's there on the screen. So we can look at this before we get started. So we can chant this together. I'll try to chant slowly. So while I'm chanting, you can actually beat me to it. So try to say the word before I say the word. Okay. So Sarva, Sarve, Sarvaha. Sarvam, Sarve, Sarvaha. Third case, Sarvaya, Sarvabhyam, Sarvabhihi. Fourth case, Sarvasye. See, that's called habit, habitual error. Gangaye, Sarvasye, Sarvabhyam, yep, Sarvabhyah, Sarvasyaha, Sarvabhyam, Sarvabhyah. Now, sixth case, Sarvasyaha, Sarvayoho, Sarvasam. Then Sarvasyam, Sarvayoho, Sarvasu. He, Sarve, he, Sarve, he, Sarvaha. Yeah. So need to jog the memory of Sarva Shabda, as we got so habituated with Ganga Shabda. That's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. So we'll keep practicing this. But today I wanted to take kind of a shift. I did want to go to Sandhi book. And if we have time, then we can come back to Yad Tad Etad Kim. But I thought we would go back to Sandhi book, get a little bit of a switch, and then we can go from there. So what we'll do is we'll open near the beginning of the book. In the beginning of the Sandhi book, I'll try to tell you around what page. It tells you places to apply Sandhi. I'll show you what it looks like. It's where to apply Sandhi. So maybe around page let's say 17 or so. I don't know if someone has the page number. When you have it, you can type it in the chat. Yeah, page 17 or so. Mine's on 15. Okay, page 15. Page 15. Okay, so it says where to apply Sandhi. So this is going back, right? This is going back, reviewing some basics about Sandhi. I thought this would be good to refresh. And I don't know if we actually went through this elaborately. So I wanted to go back and kind of look at these things before we went into consonant Sandhi. So the first thing we need to remember is that Sandhi. What does Sandhi mean? Right? Sandhi is a combination, a connection. Right? Sandhi is joining two things. Right? Similar word as you see for sunrise and sunset, sandhya kalam, right? The time of sandhya. Sandhya is joining, right? Or meeting of morning, right? And night. Meeting of morning and night is called dusk or dawn. It's called sandhya. So you see where this word, similar to this word, right? So we're going to be looking at where to apply Sandhi. The basic is that we'll jump down here. Is the first is Sandhi can be within a word. So within one word itself, you can have Sandhi applied. Okay, so within a word, or this is number 4 in the book, but I put it second, Sandhi between words. Between two different words. So it can be within one word itself or between two different words. That's the basics of where Sandhi can be applied. So let's go back. I said Sandhi within a word, right? Okay. So when I talk about a word, I'm talking about a pada, right? And a pada can be either sup ending, we call it subanta padam, subantam padam, right? That's a noun, right? You can always remember that subanta is a noun, or the word can be a ting ending called tinganta, right? It could be a verb, right? That was our first lesson. There's 2 words in Sanskrit. There's a noun and a verb. So we're coming back to that. Right? Now, within that one word, if there are letters which are subject to Sandhi, then Sandhi is compulsory. Okay, so if there's 2 letters that call for Sandhi within a word, then you should apply Sandhi. So here's the example, right? Letter, Sandhi. So example is Su uktam. Uktam means said, su well. So I put these 2 words, suktam. Right? All the suktams we chant them, they're chants because they're well said. Suktam, that's why we call chants as well as suktas. Purusha sukta. Hare plus aha, right? This is, Hari becomes Hare. So this is a pratipadika, and this is a sup pratyaya. So this is within one word. Do you see the word ends here because the ending of the word is the suffix. So this is within the word itself. Right? A pratipadika is not a pada. Does that make sense? Pratipadika, the root is not a word by itself. It needs this suffix to become a word.
Question, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Hare is not a Pratipadika. It is
Hari.
Hari becomes Hare.
Correct.
So the Pratipadika is Hari.
Yeah. Yeah, the Pratipadika is Hari. But still, after it makes a change, this is still technically, this is now called a anga. Right? So, but still, either way, this is within one word.
Within one word. Within one word means what?
Yeah. So a word is something which ends with either the sup pratyaya or ting pratyaya. So this is the ending of the word technically.
Okay.
So this right here is before the end of the word. Right? So this is sandhi, but within one word, within the word. Does that make sense? I'll show you. As opposed to when I have two words, Veda plus Artha. Those are two separate words which already have a pratyaya added to both words. Then they get added and they become Vedartha.
No.
Actually, that's not a good example. This is a better example. Ganga and
Veda
Iti.
is the Pratipadika.
Yeah. That wasn't a good example, actually. You're right. So that's what here's these ones are better. Ganga or Iti or Pratamaha Adhyayaha. Right? Those are two words. Pratamaha Adhyayaha becomes Pratamodhyayaha.
Correct.
Yeah, this is not a correct example. Loko yam. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are within a word. And the second thing is sandhi can be applied between words in a sentence. Right? We know this.
Yeah.
We just need to now make sure we know. We need to go back to the fundamentals, right, before we move on. So sandhi is applicable between the last letter of a subanta pada and the first letter of the following subanta pada within a sentence. When that happens, then sandhi is compulsory. Okay. Now, sometimes there's a note here that sometimes we pause at the end of a word, which breaks the flow. Then you don't need to apply sandhi. So, for example, in Bhagavad Gita, the way we tend to chant Bhagavad Gita nowadays is after every quarter, we pause, you can take a breath, right? And you continue with the second quarter. So when you pause in between the quarters, you don't apply sandhi, right? The sandhi is not applied.
Another good example, if I may, it is, we say Shantish, Shantish, Shantihi, or Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, either you pause at the end, or if you're saying them together, then you need to apply that sandhi.
Correct.
And same with all of those visarga sandhis. So Arjuna Uvacha, that's technically two words, right? And those are between the words. We need to apply the sandhi. Shivoham, Shivaha, Aham, Shivoham. Right? All of those different visarga sandhis are between words. Visarga is always, well, there's some examples like that where visarga comes in the middle of a word, but usually visarga is between two words. The third place, this says number 2, but in our order, this is number 3. So in your book, it's number 2, and in this, we're going to take it as number 3. You can see sandhi between an upasarga and a dhatu. Okay. We've seen that an upasarga is a meaningful particle which is meaningfully connected to a dhatu. It's placed before the dhatu. This is what we call in English a prefix. Prefix. It's it's before, and it's added, meaningfully added to the dhatu. Technically, upasarga is considered to be a pada by itself. So dhatu here is, and dhatu is suffixed by ting, and so it becomes a tinganta pada. So when a sandhi is applicable between the last letter of an upasarga and the first letter of a dhatu, sandhi is compulsory. Right? So between the last letter of an upasarga and the first letter of a dhatu. Here are some examples of, we didn't learn pararupa sandhi, but gacha anti, this is how you make gachanti. Some examples there. Here's some other examples you see here. Ne, originally it's ni dhatu, ni becomes ne plus ati becomes nayati, ayavayava sandhi. Right? It's between an upasarga and the dhatu. Oh, sorry. This is not an upasarga and dhatu. This is dhatu and tinganta. These examples aren't proper. These, these are not proper examples. I need to get different examples. Sorry about that. These are not upasargas, right? This is the dhatu itself. So we need to find other examples. Okay, I'll make a note of that. So we'll have to get different examples for there. But you got the idea, right? Upasarga, when you add it to a dhatu, then you need to apply something. That's the basics of it. The last one is, we never talked about compound words, but there's such thing called a samasa. Right? A samasa is when you join two nouns and they're joined meaningfully. Right? So you make two words, join them together in a meaningful combination. That's called a compound word. Like, for example, if we say Rama and Ishvaraha, right? Those are two nouns, right? We meaningfully combine them to say the Lord of Rama, or Rama, which is the Lord, right? Both can be the meanings. And it becomes Rameshvaraha. So you take the last letter of the first word and the first letter of the second word of the compound, and a sandhi is applied. These are some examples. Ganga plus Ishvaraha, Gangeshvaraha. Lord of the Ganga. Technically, this is first, it would be Ramaha plus Ishvaraha, but then that visarga drops because of when you do a compound, there's some rules that apply. So the point here is that there's 4 places, right? First place is within a word. Second place is between 2 words. Third place is upasarga dhatu. And fourth place is within a samasa. Okay. So I know your book order is a little bit different, but this makes more sense to me in my mind. So that's why I present it in this way. Within a word, between two words, and then those other two, right? But the main two are within a word and between words. When
But
you have, yeah, go ahead.
the samas is also between two words. So technically they're kind of same. Rameshwar is samas is between two words. You do a samas, you do a sandhi and do a samas.
Yeah. So it's technically slightly different because when we have the two words in a samasa are two words, but they have a connection which is different than the two words that are not in a samasa. So for example, here we're saying Ramasya Ishvaraha becomes Rameshwaraha, the Lord of Rama. So that there's a meaning that's implied by joining the two words,
Okay, got it.
which makes it a compound. Yeah. So, but we can either say Ramasya Ishvaraha or Rameshwaraha, and they'll mean the exact same thing. But
just thinking more, there are different types of samas, and then there are samas where there is no connection. It's not necessarily Ramasya Ishvara. It could be just, Rama Krishna or something like that. Then there is no, there's just two.
Then they're
two
just
names,
two words.
and then it's just two words, right? So
yeah, then it's just two words.
You might even, if depending on the two words, you might have to do the sandhi.
Yeah, definitely. So if they're just two words, then depending on the words, yeah, you'll need to do something. Correct. Okay. Any other questions or want to make a note of anything?
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
The word samshuddha kilvishaha, right? So is that a samasa? You have samshuddham and kilvishaha.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Samshuddha kilvishaha is one of the shlokas from the 6th chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a samasa where you have one word samshuddha and kilvishaha?
I
can read the shloka if you would like me to.
Yeah, do you actually have the translation there?
Prayatna datyamanastu yogi samshuddha kilvishaha aneka janma samsiddhim tato yati param gatim.
Yeah, so it depends on how they translated it, is whether it's samasa or two separate words.
It's written as one word.
Yeah, so if it's written as one word, that can also be two words that just applied sandhi in it. Does that make sense?
I see.
Most of the times that's how it is. It's just two words and sandhi is applied between the two words.
Okay.
So in Mundaka Upanishad, you'll see lots of, it looks like one giant word, but it's just sandhi is applied between all the words that are there.
Okay. Thank
you. So how do you know whether it's samasa or two different words? Then
that was my question.
That's where you need the teacher to tell you that, to tell you the meaning of the word.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So agachati, I wrote down up there. Would that be the one that's sandhi between upasarga and dhatu?
So it would be plus gachati, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no sandhi, right? It just adds it.
It just adds. Okay.
It just adds it. So like let's say pari plus ikshate. Pari plus ikshate becomes parikshate. Yeah. So that's an example where pari and then iksh, then you would add it.
Okay.
Together, the sandhi would apply.
I have a question. I do not understand the difference between samasa and sandhi in the sense. The word meaning, it changes in samasa but not in sandhi. Is that?
Correct. So Sandhi does not ever change the meaning of the words.
Mm.
It's just a phonetical change. Like when we say these words fast enough, there's a phonetic change between the words. So it's just a sound change. There's no meaning that changes. Whereas, but when there's a samasa, there's a change in meaning when they're connected to each other. Now, with that said, you can have a samasa where there's a change in meaning and sandhis apply. But this, does that make sense? But sandhi is just a sound change.
So you would call it samasa only if there's a change in the meaning.
Yeah, when you're combining two words to create a different meaning than the two words separately. Let's think of some examples. I'll try to find some in our Upanishad today if we have. Yeah.
And also, agacchati, A is not a upasarga.
A is a upasarga. It's ang, but that last letter goes away.
Oh, okay. You're right. Correct. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so if we feel okay, I was thinking we can just go back to our white book for a few minutes just to start this topic. But so this is page page 112. Yeah, page 112. So these are other, so we saw sarva, right? And so sarva, sarve, sarvaha, right? We saw all of that. Now, this gonna see 4 words that are also pronouns. Tad, yad, etad, kim. We've seen these already in masculine, and so we saw Punlinga and Napumsikalinga, right? Masculine and neuter gender. So the first one we're going to look at is Tad Shabda, which means that, right? We've seen this now in feminine. So look, all these words can take any three of the genders, right? They can take any of the genders based on either what it's referring to, right? So if you're talking about Sa Ganga, right? If you're talking about Ganga and you want to say Sa, or sometimes there will be 2 words that is connected to in the sentence itself, right? And there's samanadikaranam, right? It's qualifying another word. But these pronouns usually what a pronoun is, it stands for another word. So depending on the gender of that other word, this will take the gender, right? So it can be any 3 of the genders. So this Tad Shabda declines just like Sarva, except for 1. So we saw in masculine, Tad is Saha, right? In Napumsakalinga, 1 is Tad. Tad te tani. In feminine, Sa, right? Sa. Then the rest of these, we just have to imagine that the pratipadika is ta, right? Ta. So instead of sarve, it's te. Instead of sarvaha, it's taha. So sa te taha. Repeat after me. Sa te taha. And tam te taha. This feels like a Bharatanatyam class, right? Tam te taha. Third case, instead of sarvaya, right? Staya. So taya, tabhyam, tabihi. And fourth case, tasyai, tabhyam, tabhyah. Fifth case, tasyaha, tabhyam, tabhyah. Tasyaha, tayoho, tasam. Seventh case, tasyam, tayoho, tasu. And there's no sambodhana, no calling out. Okay, sa te taha. Okay, so just like sarva. So if you know sarva, if you don't know sarva, then you have to learn both. If you know sarva, then so let's we'll look at this one, and we'll also look at yad, because yad is the same thing. But one is not different, right? So it's not like something different. Okay, so it's ya. Ya, ye, you can say with me. Ya, ye, yaha. Yam, ye, yaha. Yaya, yabhyam, yabihi. Fourth case, yasyai, yabhyam, yabhyah. Fifth case, yasyaha, yabhyam, yabhyah. Sixth case, yasyaha, yabhyam. Sorry, sixth case. Yasyaha, yayoho, yasam. Seventh case, yasyam, yayoho, yasu. Okay, so these two, we'll stop on these two. Okay. The rest are all the same, but let's just keep looking at these two. So do I have an exercise? Yeah, let's look at, you don't have to flip to the back of your book, just look at the screen, okay? Just say it out loud. You don't need to type, right? Okay, so number 2. Blank sanye bhavataha tad shabda. Think about it. Sa te taha. So te, right? So te sanye bhavataha. Okay, number 4. Blank senam nayati. Tam senam nayati. Okay, number 6. Blank chintaha tyajati. Te taha. Right, so taha chintaha tyajati. Number 7. 3-1. Shraddhaya sevante. Taya shraddhaya sevante. Good. Okay. Number 8. Blank. Upamabhyam upadishyate. Tabhyam upamabhyam upadishyate. That bhyam is good, right? That we we know bhyam. Bhyam and bhya is good. Okay. Number 4. I'm just skipping for sake of time. Tasye devataye namaha. Number 14, 6-1. 6-1. Tasyaha kriyayaha prayojanam kim. Okay, number 17. Tasyam guhayam nivasati. Right? Okay. So the homework is exercise number 28. Just you're just filling in. You don't need to do the whole. You can translate if you can, right? But the main practice here is to plug in tad and yad. Okay, I don't even know why yad is not here, but it's tad and yad. Those two we've done today. Just tell me what those declensions are for all 10. And if you have the time and space, translate a few of them or all of them. Okay, good practice. Because we also, these feminine words we're not as familiar with, right? So it's sangya, right? Okay. Maybe you know, but these vocabulary is often a big problem for people. Okay, we need to take a break. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, please.
So Deva is masculine and Devata is feminine. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So Deva is masculine, Devata is feminine.
Thank you.